Did I just waste $15,000 on these items? Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. My name's Jonathan. I make luxury videos, unboxings, and reviews. And today's video, I'm gonna be ashamed to admit, is luxury items in my collection that I have not used at all. So let's get into it. So before I get started with today's video, you guys know what to do. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help my channel grow. I make videos every Friday on luxury content, men's style, luxury unboxings, you name it, it's here on this channel. So if you like that kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see the items in my luxury collection that I have yet to use, then keep on watching. So it's honestly going to be a little bit embarrassing because I did not realize that all of these items equate to about 15,000 Canadian dollars. So if you're not familiar with my channel, I am in finance, I am in accounting, so I do have a spreadsheet on my computer which tells me the price of items that I've paid for my luxury collection. I'm a nerd like that. I want to be able to see how much I've spent on these items over the vast period of time. And since I've bought these items cost me about $15,000. And I'm ashamed to say that I have not used these items at all since I've purchased them. So let's dive into today's video. Disclaimer alert, these items are going to be all SLGs. If you're not familiar with my channel, you're going to know that I'm an SLG hoarder. I just like to catch them all. So none of these are actual handbags. I do use all of my handbags. It's just more my SLGs. So it'll hopefully give you some kind of context as to, do you need to have all of these SLGs in your collection, coming from an individual who has over 50 of them. So I'm going to start with the ones that I have in front of me right here. And they are going to be my Louis Vuitton key pouches. I do have all 4 of them in my collection. However, the 2 that I have yet to use since I've purchased them are going to be my Damier Azur key pouch as well as my Damier Ebene. So if you're not new to my channel, I actually do have another Damier Ebene key pouch that I did use quite often. However, the reason why I'm not using this one is because it is a sentimental piece towards me. I wanted to repurchase it because the original one that I do have, which I have still in my collection, kind of got ruined. So I wanted to have one to replace it. And then honestly, I just purchased this one just because I lent it to my sister and I didn't get it back. So I just needed to have all of them in my collection. So I just repurchased the Damier Azur one before it got discontinued and before the price increased. So these are the 2 key pouches that I have in my collection that I have yet to use. The next 2 items in my collection that I have yet to use are going to be my card holders. So you're probably going to be wondering, Jonathan, you just did an unboxing video of this. Why haven't you used it yet? So to be honest, I honestly haven't been leaving my house that much. We're going back to the office starting soon. So hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more use out of this. But I just haven't felt the need to just gravitate towards this piece just because I've been still using my Mont Blanc one. And I've actually purchased this one, I want to say over a year ago when it first got released. And I have yet to use this. As I mentioned in my unboxing video for this piece, I feel like the reverse monogram one is a little bit more dressier and a little more classier. So I'm waiting to have more events where it warrants me to look a little bit more dressed up. So that's the reason why I haven't used this one. For this one, I honestly, as I mentioned in the unboxing video, purchased this one on a whim just because I knew there was going to be a Louis Vuitton price increase and I just didn't want to have that subjected to me. So I just kind of had FOMO, fear of missing out. So I went and snatched this one up before the price increase. So these are the 2 card holders in my collection that I currently have not yet used. So moving on to my only Burberry piece that I have in my collection that I have not yet used is this guy. So I bought this with the intention to using it just because I thought it was a really great alternative to the Louis Vuitton key pouch. I did do a dedicated video of it. I will leave it linked up to here if you want to go check that out. But to be honest, I have yet to use this piece. I don't tend to use a lot of key pouches anymore just because I have my Goyard pouch as well as my regular pocket organizer, a small wallet that I use. But this one is a good hybrid of the two. So this one is pretty roomy. It does have a lot of space in here, and it has some card slots if you want to put your cards in there. And then it does come with a chain similar to the key pouch. So as you can see, I have yet to use this just because I still have the actual plastic on the hardware. I actually think I'm gonna use this today because I don't see why I haven't used this. To be honest, I have no idea why I have yet to use this. Burberry canvas has been proven to be really great in my opinion. I have the AirPods case that I use on a daily basis that is in the same pattern. So I'm actually not too sure why I haven't used this guy. And it has a leather lining compared to the Louis Vuitton key pouch, which is a calfskin lining. So honestly, I think I'm gonna switch into this one today because I honestly can't give you a reason as to why I haven't used this guy. Next item is going to be my Louis Vuitton coin purse. So I bought this at the beginning of 2020 in hopes that I was going to try to transition away from using a lot of electronic payments and try to stick towards more cash payments. So I bought this just because I didn't want the traditional coin purse, the round one that everybody has. I wanted to be a little bit different and buy this one just because this one was the men's coin purse in the men's section. Although I think that both the round one and this one can be used for both genders. I think it is gender friendly. But I wanted to use this one just because I wanted to carry more coins and cash with me, and I wanted something in the monogram eclipse pattern. So this was my very first monogram eclipse item, and I love that I had the gunmetal hardware. However, it was just timing, I suppose. I did not get a chance to use this guy at all just because a couple months later, the whole happened, and so I just wasn't able to use it, and a lot of cash payments were kind of getting obsolete because a lot of vendors were only really wanting us to use electronic forms of payment. So I have yet to use this guy. I'm on the fence of whether or not I want to sell this piece just because I honestly don't see myself using it. I thought it would fit my car fob in here, but it doesn't without ruining it. So I'm still trying to figure out ways to use this piece. But for now, it's just gonna stay in my collection because I'm one of those individuals that if I sell something, I will probably miss it, even though I don't use it. I kind of like looking at this and I kind of like how it matches my Keep All XS. So I've been trying to figure out ways to incorporate it when I'm using that bag, but for now, it is completely unused. And moving on to the next two pieces are going to be my 6 keyring holder and my 4 keyring holder. So the 6 keyring holder, I have a valid excuse as to why I haven't used this one yet since I purchased it. I am still currently using my Damier Ebene 6 keyring holder, which I use on a daily basis. I haven't used this is because I haven't gone into the boutique. A lot of my recent unboxings have been from online, so I just haven't had the chance to go into the actual boutique to bring my Damier Ebene one in for repair. So once that one goes in for repair, I'll have this one to use, just because I wanted to have a kind of being like rotated. So that way when this one gets overused, I can switch back to the Damier Ebene one once it comes back from repair. I just need to get it reglazed because the glazing has kind of come off on that one. I do use that one quite a bit. So I have a valid excuse for this one. Unfortunately for this guy right here, the reason why I haven't used this one is I wanted to try to love this one, but there was two reasons as to why I don't particularly like it in comparison to the 6 keyring holder. So I bought the 4 keyring holder because I absolutely love the 6 keyring holder. So I'm like, you know what, 4 keyring holder, gotta have both. Jonathan, you're crazy. But decided to get this one in Damier Azur. Don't ask me why I got it in Damier Azur. Honestly, I didn't have many pieces in Damier Azur and I just felt I needed to add more just because my key pouch was getting a little bit lonely. But I honestly don't use this guy at all. I don't think I've actually ever used this one. It is still in great shape. It has the really nice shiny button still. The reason why I didn't use this one is because I thought I would not care too much about this flap. But to be honest, this is kind of like useless for me it's not thick enough or it's not long enough to fit a card in here. So I actually haven't gravitated towards this. And I tried to fit my work tokens in the 4 keyring holder, but it actually only fits 1 token. And I need both of these tokens with me wherever I go. So I just didn't think, I just didn't like the fact that it only carried 1. And if I only had 1 of them in here, then that means I would have to carry 2 of these. And I don't see the point of carrying 2 of these when I can just carry 1 of these. So that's the reason why I haven't used this one. Again, I'm probably not going to sell this piece just because I like to have both in my collection. But if you are debating between the 6 keyring holder and the 4 keyring holder, I highly, highly suggest going with the 6 keyring holder. Okay, so now moving into some of the bigger SLG items that I did not use in my collection, and that is going to be these two, the infamous toiletry pouches. So I'm not gonna lie, I did use this one time, and that was as a crossbody. I did get a lot of compliments on it. However, it is not worth it for me. I did not enjoy carrying that bag around. This kind of like this whole lip here dangles really awkwardly with the chain when you try to convert this into a crossbody. So I realistically did not enjoy carrying this as a bag. I'm trying to figure out what I could use this for aside from a toiletry pouch, just because I use my toiletry bag 25 a lot more in comparison to the toiletry pouch series. So honestly, I don't know what I'm going to use for this in my collection. I did try to carry a lot of my electronic cords in here, but realistically speaking, it really only carried my MacBook charger, because the brick itself is pretty large for this, for my MacBook, and then the cord. Anything else was kind of getting it misproportioned, and I don't really want to have this misproportioned. And to be honest, if I'm being completely honest, the reason why I purchased these two was so that way I can have the whole trifecta. I do have the toiletry pouch 15 that I use constantly. That is my catch-all in a lot of my mini bags. Only problem is it doesn't fit in my Keep All XS, which I'm a little bit sad about, but it does fit in my Palm Springs Mini and obviously other larger bags. But to be honest, I don't use these guys at all. And I actually have never carried my toiletry pouch 26. So I kind of fed into the hype of this quite a bit. A lot of YouTubers, especially luxury YouTubers in the luxury community, tend to talk about how amazing this piece is, and how they can use it as a crossbody bag, they can use it as a clutch, that kind of thing. To be honest, I did buy an insert to kind of convert this into a crossbody bag or clutch, but I have yet to use it. I don't think I would really pull off the clutch look, and I just kind of like to be a little bit hands-free when I'm walking around. I don't really like to have stuff in my hand aside from my phone, just because I do use that one on a daily basis, whether it be checking my emails constantly, whether it be changing my music, that kind of stuff, or checking my socials. I don't really tend to like to carry something like this on a daily basis, and I think if I had to carry this, I would not be comfortable. I'm just not a clutch person, I don't think. I think I've come to that realization that I don't like to wear clutches, and I'm not a clutch person. And I already have a toiletry bag, and fun fact, I did do a full video of comparing this as a toiletry pouch compared to my toiletry bag, and my toiletry bag 25 fits a lot more than this. So I did feed into the hype for these two. I know that these are now discontinued, so that's why I'm really hesitant on letting these go in my collection, just because, again, FOMO, and once I do let them go, I know I'm gonna regret it, so that's why I've kept them in my collection. I'm hoping I can figure out what I can use these for. If you guys have any ideas, what do you guys use these for if you have them in your collection? Please, please, please let me know down in the comment section below. I would love, love, love your input. I forgot about these other couple wallets, so I'm gonna show you these two. So these are my 2 coin card holders. So I recently just purchased this one, so this one has a valid excuse. I did do an unboxing about this one, I wanna say 2 weeks ago, so that's why I haven't used this one yet. I absolutely love the gunmetal color on here, so that's why I added this one into my collection, because I wanted to have something like this in the silver. And then for this guy, I did the same thing when they had an online exclusive. When the recently came about, Louis Vuitton did a lot of like online launches, like exclusively. rather than having the boutiques have them in stores, just because a lot of the boutiques were not opened during that time. So I decided to go get this because I thought this was going to be a limited edition piece. Obviously, I was naive and it is not a limited edition piece. This is still available on the Louis Vuitton website. Whether it's in stock or not is a completely different issue. So I purchased this and I used this one about once, and that is about it. I don't know what it is about this wallet that I really do love. I absolutely love the concept of this wallet. I just don't gravitate towards it as much in comparison to like a pocket organizer. Like it has the same kind of features where it has like a back pocket, has a section here for cards, and then it has a zip pocket for your like your coins, bills, whatever have you that you want to put in here. Similar to like how the recto verso is, I feel like this is kind of like the same concept, but a little bit more of a friendlier price point. I believe these are about 510 Canadian dollars versus the recto verso, I think, is about like 765 Canadian dollars. Granted, I don't think the extra chain that the recto verso comes with, it comes with a chain similar to like the key pouch. I don't think that warrants the extra like $250, but to each their own. But yeah, I honestly don't know why I don't use these ones as much. I love how this one matches my Keep All XS because it is in the reverse. It is in the reverse monogram eclipse as well as the regular monogram eclipse. And so honestly, I'm not too sure why I don't gravitate towards these. Honestly, for some of these pieces, I honestly don't know why I don't gravitate towards them, just because they're really pretty and they're really nice to look at. But yeah, these are the two coin card holders in my collection that I currently do not use. So the next three items in my collection, I 100% know why I don't use these. And these are probably the only items in my collection that I purchased for collection purposes only. And that is going to be my pocket organizers. So I have the pocket organizer in the Damier Ebene and from the Nigo collection. And then I have two pocket organizers from the MBA collab. This one was from the first drop and this one was from the second drop. So I honestly purchased these for the sole fact of having these as collector's pieces in my collection. I do not ever intend to use these items just because I think that these are really great collector's item pieces. These are collaborations between other artists and or associations such as the MPA. So I just purchased these just for the sole fact to have these in my collection, just for collection purposes. I think these are really great conversational pieces to have. A lot of people, when I first unboxed this one or even show my friends, family, and coworkers, they're really intrigued by Louis Vuitton collabing with the MBA. And I just love the fact that it has like the special stamping on the inside where it says that it is in collaboration with them. This one was, you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for some time and you watched that unboxing video, this was something that I could not stop thinking about. When I first saw this on Foxy LV's Instagram, I instantly knew I had to purchase this item because like this screams LV and MBA to me. Like this is like literally looks like a basketball. So I absolutely love this piece to death. And it was my first Empreinte leather piece, as you can see. This one was something that I actually first started off for my pocket organizer collection. This was my first limited edition piece. I actually had the opportunity, and I still kick myself to this day, to purchase this in the boutique, but I opted to pass on it just because I didn't know how I felt about having this LV made duck on there. And then I come to realize that this is like Nigo's signature, having the LV made or having the Nigo made on there. So then I needed to have it in my collection. And obviously by the time I wanted it, it was completely sold out. So I had to go for like a personal shopper, and I did pay above retail on this piece, which I have no regrets for it now. If I were to look at this piece on like other like resale sites or consignment shops, like it would be selling for way more than I currently paid for it. So I have no regrets whatsoever. Honestly, sometimes you have to just pay for things above retail if you kind of don't have the option to purchasing it from the store. But you know, just know that these pieces will always go up in value. Same for like these kind of collaborations, just because once they're out of stock, like you're not gonna be able to purchase these anymore. So never hesitate on these kind of collections. I just think that these are really great. I'm hoping to add more. I know that they're gonna have a third drop for the NBA, so I'm excited to see what that one will look like. So that way I can get one. So that way I have one from each of the drops. And the reason why I didn't purchase the second drop for the Nigo is I wasn't a fan of that collection. I didn't really like what they had to offer, but I really did love the first drop. So these are the 3 pocket organizers in my collection that I have yet to use. Last but certainly not least, I'm gonna lump these 4 items together, and they are going to be my pochettes. So I do have the Damier Ebene mini pochettes alongside the Monogram mini pochette and the Damier Azur mini pochette, as well as the pochette accessoire in Monogram. Contrary to popular belief, I actually have not used any of these whatsoever. I've been contemplating selling them just because they're at such a huge price point right now that I could definitely recoup all of my money back. But then I'm still on the fence because I honestly don't know if I would miss these or not. I'm not gonna lie, I fed into the hype for the mini pochettes like there's no tomorrow. So I had purchased the first one. If you're not new to my channel, this was my very first unboxing on my YouTube channel. So I purchased this one just because a lot of people raved about the mini pochettes. They loved it, and so they just recommended it completely, especially on like luxury groups, a lot of the Facebook groups. A lot of people advocate for the mini pochettes. And so I bought this one in the Damier Azur because it was literally the only one available at the website on the time when I had purchased this. And so knowing me, I'm not a huge Damier Azur person, so I'm like, you know what? I really do want to get the Damier Ebene one just because I absolutely love the red interior that the Damier Ebene comes with. So you know what? I'm going to use this one to death just because I love Damier Ebene as well as that red cherry inside. So once I got this, I was like, might as well just get the trifecta. So I ended up finding the Monogram mini pochette on the website as well. I got these all within like a year span, which is completely unheard of sometimes. A lot of people have huge difficulties getting these mini pochettes, but for me, it was like very fortunate enough to get all 3 of them within the same time frame. So I ended up getting the Monogram just so that way I could have the full set. Do I actually use these guys? Honestly, no. I know a lot of people use these as catch-alls in their bags, but for me, I'm just kind of hesitant about them just because they don't have like the wipeable lining. I use my toiletry bag 15 for my catch-all just because it has that wipeable lining. So if I do carry anything that is liquidy, I can easily wipe it. But for these guys, I'm a little bit more hesitant just because I've seen a lot of people post on YouTube, especially like luxury groups, that they get like staining on the inside with like a pen mark or whatever have you, and it's not able to be removed just because it's a cloth lining. So I honestly just don't want to risk that for my pieces. I'm a little bit OCD in that sense, that I will notice every little nick and cranny on these items. Even though they're meant to be used, I just haven't used them. I honestly tried to use this one as like a mini bag, but it doesn't fit my phone, so it really only fits like my 6 key holder as well as like a card holder, but I usually kind of carry a little bit more than that, so I honestly haven't used it. Would I sell these ones? I'm honestly on the fence about it just because I know for right now these are currently retailing for about 950 Canadian dollars, which is absolutely insane. I don't think these are worth the $950 plus tax price point. I honestly think that these are way too expensive for what they are, but that's just my personal opinion. And then the pochette accessoire. So not gonna lie, my essay messaged me around the Christmas time saying that she had this in stock, and I honestly just didn't even blink, and I just said yes, charge my card, just because I know how hard it is to find this piece. So I personally have not used this one at all, as I've mentioned before. I thought I could use it as like a clutch, but similar to the reasons for the toiletry pouch, I honestly don't see myself wearing clutches. So this honestly just has been sitting on my shelf since I purchased it. And it does come with a shoulder strap that you can use it as a bag. I honestly probably will try using it as like a crossbody bag, just because I have been using my Palm Springs Mini recently as a crossbody, so that could be an option. I'm just hesitant just because of that interior, even though like the Palm Springs Mini has a, kind of like the same interior. So it probably could work. I don't know why I haven't used this one as a crossbody yet, but we'll give that a go and see how that works. I will definitely need to get a strap for it just because I only have my Keepall XS strap as well as my Palm Springs Mini straps that I could possibly use with it, but I don't think it'll match. So I'm probably gonna have to get like a gold strap or like a Vachetta strap so that way I can try it out. But yeah, I honestly have not yet used this one. Again, I am hesitant to sell this one just because of all the significant price increases that it has had over the last years. I did pay about 900 Canadian dollars with tax for this, and now it is currently retailing for $18.50. So in about 2 years' time, it has doubled in the price since I've owned it. So honestly, that's probably the reason why I wouldn't sell it, just because I know that if I did sell this bag, I would not be repurchasing it at the price point that it currently is at. And to be honest, a lot of the vintage ones kind of turn me off just because they're so expensive for the condition that they're in my opinion. So that's why I would not find it worth it purchasing this item at today's retail price. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. This is all the items in my luxury collection that I have yet to use. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.